Good morning, listeners and viewers.
Good morning, Ammar.
You're listening to Ammar and
Jalf.
live on our weekly radio show right here on Spice FM.
Each week we'll try and bring some views, news, and one or two clues from the business world.
Asian Business Connections aims to connect, support, and promote the Asian and wider communities.
And we'll be talking shop quite literally, not just corner shops, whether you look to start a business, have an existing business, or you just want to talk business, we can help.
We can help. We do help. Gosh, or we try to, don't we?
Well, yes, we have been. We've been trying for many years.
And yeah, it's incredibly challenging.
I think you have to just try harder in this moment in time.
Harder and harder and harder. What would you say is the single biggest challenge to people and places?
When I think about my own journey, Ammar, and when you think about business and where it was, and we had like booming, thriving economies, let's say 20 years ago.
What can you remember 20 years ago, though?
Well, 20 years ago takes us to 2006, right? So just generally, let's say 2006, that era.
2006. I mean, look, I remember, sorry, I had a corporate career for 10 years.
Yep.
Right? I was at the United Artists, Telly West, and which then became Virgin Media and whatever it is. Had a brilliant job. Loved it. Made a lot of money, but actually it was the job that I was doing, which was brilliant. And on September the 11th, 2003, I resigned. After 10 years. Yeah, that was after. Anyway,
it was before then, wasn't it?
The event was before then.
Yeah.
It wasn't just coincidentally, but I resigned then, and for a couple of reasons. I was tired of living in a suitcase, traveling all the time. I used to get up at 4 o'clock, fly to Heathrow, and fly back on the night time. Used to do that a couple of days a week, or drive to Liverpool. Anyway, but it was a great job. And actually, the company had gone through 3 redundancies, and I was like, I should have took a redundancy, is what I should have done, you know, because I would have had a big payout. But I knew when my time was up. But 2003, I then got involved in property. I then started scaling a property business. You know, took that from like 3 to 30 million in less than 2 years. And you just think to yourself, it was booming.
But my point is, it was booming, right?
Yeah.
The towns were busy. The city centres it was all vibrant. But just think about the taxation, though. I think the biggest, most significant change in business is the level of tax that we pay today compared to what we used to pay back then, and the facilities that were there. You know, like there was so many other support. Well, the dividends was higher. There was like so many. The VAT was probably lower. So the point is, for me, every single year, every single budget from 20 years ago, the government's found ways of just chipping away to take more and more money off all of us. And I think that's the biggest significant biggest significant change, which, I mean, where is that going to go? Is that going to just continue? Because every year they find ways of making it more difficult. Now it's attack on landlords. If you've got a landlord, the laws have become so difficult that all the landlords who want to sell their properties have just, you know, in London, where the bubble is exempt from the rest of the country in so many ways, they're really struggling, because the landlords are just thinking, it's not worth us having these properties, let's just sell. And so, you know, stamp duties and everything's changed them all. Like every single area, every single corner you turn, the taxation has changed. And I think that's the most significant difference.
It is crazy. So, if we were to give you some more insight on this, right? If we were to sort of say, okay, what type of data and details existed in 2006 to 2026, I'm hoping that we're going to be in a position to share some some of
Well,
that
I
with
mean,
you?
of course, I mean, we will be able to come up and share. But if we just think about your own experiences,
Oh, without a doubt.
and where, I remember speaking to somebody in the lakes, and he was like saying, well, there was no VAT on takeaways. The VAT was only 5%, and it was just crazy. The regulation of minimum wage and all of that, which is fine. It's a good thing, but then is it though? Because if you've got free market forces, you would never pay someone if they're good. Earn your salary based on your skill set is what I say.
Without a doubt. It's we're looking at, I mean, we've got a lot of statistical information here, but in essence, they are materially different. Um, uh, you know, basically, the top and bottom of it is and was, for business owners, the corporation tax journey has gone in both directions. Around 2006, the main corporation tax rate was, it was then cut over time, reaching 19%. But by 2023, the UK moved back to a split system with 19% for small profits and 25% for profits over £250,000. Imagine, Jeff, just like, without going into all of this data and details, and actually maybe it was because we were younger, lives were happier. There's all of those things, right? You remember things differently than potentially they were in reality, but that was also because of circumstance as well. Because I mean, statistically, it's suggesting that in 2006 the main corporation tax was higher than today.
But I was more getting at
Speak up.
the vibrancy on the streets, the hustle and bustle of the shops, the nightlife, the bars.
Oh no, but look, I think disposable income, there was more of it.
Yeah,
right.
Well, that's probably what it all comes down to.
Is how much money, right? How much money people had, and don't forget, there was a period of time which then subsequently was popped in 2007 and 2008. Right? We had the financial crisis. So I imagine there is some contributory factors, isn't there? Like, if you think about it, gosh, I mean, I'll put my hands up. I remember buying a property and getting 110% mortgage. Imagine getting 110% mortgage. How brilliant! But how foolish is that? How stupid was that?
Well, you're doing the property up.
You're
doing the property up, aren't you?
Well, no, okay, but and they were the mortgages that broke the system.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was brilliant. It helped everyone get on the ladder. Not only did you get on the ladder, but you had a lot more money to go down the shaft as well. Anyway, right. My point is there's probably a lot more other reasons as to what's what and what's not. But in essence, there is no question that taxing people more when they don't have enough anyway only leads to people going bust. We were just having this conversation about businesses, and particularly hospitality and retail, right? And if you look at hospitality and retail, Jap, the impact of hospitality and retail is the number of businesses that aren't and don't are progressing from, we mentioned some businesses who were opening up some restaurants, new sites in Sunderland and things like that. They pulled out.
Yeah, it's so terrifying, especially if you think about it, Ammar. We've got Phil we just bumped into Phil, had a nice coffee earlier on, and
Phil's the cost reduction expert who we would encourage everybody to get in touch with.
Yeah, and Phil's in the know, but I mean, Phil cannot help gas prices going up by 30%. That's not in Phil can't control it. But what he can tell you is give you an honest insight into what's happening in the industry, and they could definitely go and shop in the best kind of organizations to give you the best and cheapest prices.
Mm.
But if you say to Phil, man, can you get this 30% down to 10? He's not going to be able to do it because that's not in his control. But that's what's happening with energy. If you imagine now you're about to make £1 million investment or £2 million investment in a brand new shiny restaurant, you didn't take a 30% increase in your energy costs when you were doing your business plan. And then you probably didn't take into consideration that, oh, well, hold on, everyone is hit by increased costs and their disposable income is less. So they're cutting down luxuries.
Yeah.
Hospitality, restaurants is a luxury at the end of the day. It's only food is only essential when you need to eat to survive. Food in a restaurant, it's effectively a luxury. So if the luxury are getting cut down, and people might be eating a lot more at home to save, going and spending 35 quid in a restaurant, well, I'm going to eat and go to Tesco and go to the supermarkets, do my daily shop, eat more in the house because I'm going to save more money. Then obviously, of course, that's one of the basic reasons as to why people have looked at it and cut that up with all of the taxation increases. Then they think that it's not viable to make these investments. As I've said before, the government could solve the hospitality issues in one announcement. All they need to do is say that, right, VAT is 5% in hospitality. It would flip in a second, and it would be so easy that you would get a.
Well, yeah, I think it would make a transformative difference. I don't know whether it would flip because I think it would definitely make it more attractive and more beneficial and counter a lot of the perfect storm challenges, right? Because no one anticipated supply chain issues. No one anticipated, well, you could potentially suggest if someone's going to go and bomb somewhere, there's going to be impact associated with, is there not some sort of modeling? When we're looking at projects, we do a series of modeling exercises. If this happens, if that happens, in fact, that's what a lot of what I do on a day-to-day business is advising businesses, owners, senior leaders on scenario building and how to fix things or make them better. And I always work out and position for the worst and hope for the best. Whatever you're doing,
that's really good,
right? And then map that out and go, well, what happens if this didn't work out that way? What happens if that didn't happen? And all of these things, right? Now, equally, adopting a similar type of approach for all of my interests allows me to sort of go, well, that's not working that very effectively, so I can do that over there, because that's life. But if you think the changes that are being introduced, because actually what could have and should have happened is those changes should have paused, right? At the beginning of March, right, we should have introduced emergency legislation and say, we're not going to introduce these taxes, we're not going to be doing this, we're not going to be doing that. Now, put out of work now than there was 6 weeks ago. So that's the impact. It's crazy. Anyway, some positive news. Finance Durham hits £40 million landmark as County Durham businesses go global. So, this is a programme in Durham that's been supported. And actually, we were supporting Business Durham and some of those things, as in when I say we, the SME Centre of Excellence team and things like that. This is an interesting statistic, isn't it, Jalf? If you read that.
UK manufacturers face a 1 billion rate surge as cost pressures mount. UK manufacturers are facing nearly 1 billion increase in annual business rates from this month, adding to an already severe cost squeeze that includes rising energy, we've talked about, higher national insurance contributions. Yep, that's been a killer since last April, not this April, gone the one before. Analysis to make UK reveals that almost 9 in 10 manufacturers have seen their rates rise in April, with some increases up to 100%, despite manufacturing representing just 10% of the economy. The current rating system, based on property size rather than business performance, is being called fundamentally unfair. With Make UK warning that around 25,000 jobs could be at risk if urgent reform is not delivered. That's just frightening, isn't it?
It's so scary. And that's just one of the sectors,
Yeah.
is what it is. So it's not us just making this up, is it? Google UK chief calls for AI training investment as job loss fears grow. So Google's UK managing director, Kate Alessi, has urged businesses and workers not to fear AI-driven job losses, but instead focus on building the skills needed to work alongside the technology. Speaking at the launch of a new 2 million national upskilling program backed by Google.org, Alessi pointed to research suggesting that around 6 in 10 UK jobs are expected to be enhanced rather than replaced by AI. For Northeast SMEs already navigating rising costs in a rapidly changing business landscape, the message is timely, with practical AI skills increasingly becoming a competitive advantage rather than a luxury. Despite nearly 2/3 of the UK population having tried AI tools, just 1 in 10 consider themselves advanced users, a gap that organisations across the region, including the programme supported by the SME Centre of Excellence, are well placed to help local businesses close. So one of the things that Kevin's working on right now, Jeff, is putting together a tech stack, right? So this is technology that any and every business of whatever size can adopt and take advantage of whatever it is. So it makes them more powerful, right? It gives them superhuman powers to do more and better in business is what it does. And the AI is brilliant. You know, I use it pretty much all day, every day, for a variety of things. It doesn't replace my thinking or my problem solving or my initiative. It just helps it, is what it does.
Well, I think you're definitely way ahead of the average person in terms of how early you jump onto the AI bandwagon. Not bandwagon, in terms of using it to genuinely help you. I think I've never even been. I don't even know how to get on it. So I think I need to go and see. I need to go and see Kevin.
You do? We do. He's in India, so let's go. Look, Kevin's doing some brilliant work. He'll be coming over and helping and showing us and doing a lot more. Anyway, talking about cost savings, Jeff, this is a good article, isn't it? What is it? How can
SME Centre of Excellence help you save costs and stay competitive?
Jeff's good at using the. He's never mind using a computer. Doesn't know how to use a mouse. That's all it is. That's brilliant.
Running a business in the current climate is tough. With overheads rising, energy costs climbing, and margins under pressure, many Northeast SMEs are feeling the squeeze. But practical support is closer than you think. The SME Centre of Excellence offers a range of programs and expert guidance designed to help businesses save costs, improve resilience, and stay competitive without having to go it alone. So the things that you're able to do: save your operational cost, access targeted cost-saving initiatives and business support programs to help identify where money is being lost and how to recover it. Strengthen your business resilience. This is like so important in difficult times. This is more, part of it is the mentality of your team. Expert guidance to help build a more robust business model so you're better prepared to weather economic uncertainty and move and keep on moving forward. Improve your operational efficiency. Hands-on support helps streamline your business runs day to day, freeing up time, reducing waste, and improving your bottom line. Connects you to the right expertise. So again, when you have when you're going through difficulties, it's just finding that person who's able to give you that advice. That is what you're kind of hoping for. From strategic business guidance to sector-specific advice, the SME Centre of Excellence connects you with the knowledge and people your business needs to grow. Helps you stay competitive. Without the right support in place, Northeast SME can help you invest, innovate, and compete even when wider economic environment makes it feel challenging.
Yeah, so the SME Centre of Excellence can help, offers practical, affordable business support designed specifically for small and medium-sized businesses across the Northeast. Whether you're looking to save costs, improve efficiency, or simply find the right guidance at the right time, provides the tools and expertise to help you take control, stay competitive, and keep growing, whatever the economic climate throws your way. Jalf, you regularly talk about the importance of right advice at the right time, don't you?
Well, Ammar, I was just about to mention that point. So, especially right now,
yeah,
I would like to speak to a kind of industry expert who's able to tell us, look, tomorrow, based on what's happening around the world, the impact that it's going to have on this country generally, and then specifically to your industry, this is what the consequences are going to be. If someone's able to give us that information, we're then going to be able to sponge that information and then really make decisions on what to do moving forward and where we think, for example, hospitality and leisure, where is it going? Are people going to eat out? Is it the case back in 2008? I know what happened in 2008 because people started to cut down on going out, but when they did go out, they wanted to go to one of the better venues because they're going to go out instead of going twice a week, they're going to go one time a week. But when they
spend a little bit more, enjoy it more,
a better experience. So we had if you got a premium space in that instance, you probably did well, even though that it was a downturn. So where are we in 2026 in this climate? I haven't got those answers, and I would like to find an industry expert who's going to be able to support and have the ability to be able to give me answers to some of these unknown questions. So I think that's not just for hospitality. I'm sure there's lots of other businesses that will get the answers. And that's what experts do, don't they? They give you the answers that you can't think of yourself.
Of course, and that's the thing. So Phil, Stephen ran a session downstairs a few weeks ago on marketing, right? And it's interesting that people are still continuing to adopt, moving this way, Joe, continuing to adopt the same approach from a marketing perspective. Like everyone's done. Oh, we need to do something on Facebook. We need to do something on Instagram. We need to do this. We need to take a picture of that, do that, whatever. Everyone's doing the same thing. And there's so much noise. Whereas what you need is authenticity, right? You need to be able to demonstrate the value that you bring, not just show it, but demonstrate it, right? So it's not just about picking on a food or a takeaway or whatever it is. Lots of owners will show a lovely dish, will show their staff, will show their venue, will show, oh, here's a picture of me with someone famous or whatever it is. All of those things, yes, they get likes and they might see some traction and action. What I want to know is what makes it special, what goes into those dishes. I want to hear from Jalf. I want to hear from the chef. I want to hear from the customer is what I want to hear. And the customer going, we come here, it's really special, not just testimonials, but actually sharing and communicating that. Anyway, there's this proof. It's about proof. And everyone's talking about we're the best, we're the best, we're the best. Come here, look at this, look at this, look at this, look at this award, look at this, whatever it is. Actually, what people want to know is that sense of authenticity. So anyway, my point is, Stephen delivered this brilliant workshop. And, Stephen, Elizabeth, Jen, Phil. So Phil's the MD of the SME Centre of Excellence, right? And they've set up this business club. Right, and I'm just very briefly, I'm sort of I get a bit excited about what they're done and what they're doing because I'm not involved in it, right? Which makes a big difference, is what it does. But they've come up with a business club, right? They've supported thousands of businesses, and it's a membership, right? It's a nominal membership. It's less than like less than. It's less than £1 a day. Less than £1 a day is what it is, right? Less than £1. And you get access to Stephen, Phil, cost reduction, you get workshop, networking, you get expert advice. I said to them, that's too cheap. You know, if someone's paying £30 a month to access some of the best experts that exist, you know, we go and pay hundreds, thousands of pounds to experts and consultants and lawyers and professional providers and all of that. Imagine having a bank of them and access to all of them, right? And the reason why I'm mentioning it is because they are doing business MOTs now on every single business. This is a 50-point analysis of where your business is. Jen, Chanel, they're calling up, they're taking them through, they're doing a bit of analysis, and then they'll give you a report and going on that point. You know, you want to hear what's happening in this industry. Are people going to start? Habits going to change? What are the academic analysis? Where is the information? And they're working with the likes of Durham University, one of the best universities in the world, to do research and analysis. They're working with a whole range of trade bodies and organizations to look at what support can be introduced and in what way. Jeff, it's like a no-brainer. So, you know, it's great that, you know, each of your individual restaurants are signing up to the business club, because there's going to be real value to each of those managers getting that support to understand what they're doing. You know, equally, I've signed up to it because of the value that it is. I think it's brilliant.
I think it's just instilling that, having that, I guess it would be a two-way process as well, because it was a matter of the teams coming on board and sharing their experiences and their information that they can bring to the table, because they're very, very close to the customer. They're there every day, they live and they breathe it, they can see what's happening in the city centre. And then it's a matter of getting that information and working with the team at SME to then dissect that and then give their prognosis on it and then come up with solutions.
So, sorry, go on.
Yeah, so I think it's a very invaluable kind of project or initiative, especially in this.
Right. Can you remember during COVID?
A long time ago.
There's a lorry. You were talking about 2006 a minute. But can you remember in 2000, in 2001, 2002, right? We launched a campaign which was called Save Our SMEs, because...
Was it 21? 21.
Because I can't even spell it. So this was it. Looking for support. We can help, right? And we had sort of, there was 3,000 businesses supported, 22 business startup essentials, bounce back loans, self-employed income support, how to protect your small business, support for UK businesses, trading, job support scheme, latest updates from government. Is your business at risk? And I'd come up with this, right? What do? Do you innovate? Do you hibernate? Or do you liquidate?
That's good.
It's brilliant.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Because at the time, they were the options, weren't they?
Yeah.
Do you shut your doors? You know, do you do something differently? And this is the point, right? And actually, you don't have the hibernate option anymore, do you? You can't just simply shutter your business. Whereas at that time you could, right? You could turn the lights off for a little bit, couldn't you?
Well, you learned the lesson, right? You think that you close the business and you don't incur costs. But it's ridiculous how much amount of the cost that you incur when you close the business. So you best just keep it open.
But if you're going to keep it open, well, there's only two options you've got. You either innovate, do things differently, fix it or make it better, or liquidate.
Yeah.
And actually, it's a horrible thing to consider. Jalf, the feeling of failure, the feeling of, but it sometimes is the most sensible thing you can do. Call it a day and start again instead of putting and risking everyone and everything, as in, it's so sad. The number of businesses where they're employing a few hundred people or a couple of thousand people or whatever it is, and the staff are totally unaware, right? They turn up on a Friday morning and there's a sign there saying the business is now closed. Imagine that. That's so sad. Whereas, as a business owner, as a leader of a business, you have a conversation with your staff and you say, look, it's not working out. It's incredibly challenging. And the likelihood is we're going to have to make some changes or close the business.
You can't not face the people that you've been working alongside. What about, it's just, I mean, I guess that comes down to it's unethical, immoral. How are you supposed to even do that? You've got to face your team. I mean, I think one of the reasons about that I personally live on a day-to-day basis in terms of work is the fear of the people that the business supports, but they're the families that they support. Whether it's families locally, but then most people have got extended families and they've got other dependents around the world that they have to support. So it's that when you get to understand,
it's all about people, man.
Yeah,
it's all about people. We were having this conversation, right? I was talking to a business owner that was supporting, who's setting up a dog grooming business. I'm just giving you an example, right? And I appreciate you might not like dogs, and there's lots of people who might.
I like dogs now, man.
Yeah, we love
after Alan, man. After Alan's,
Alan,
Mr.
Curry. Yeah, we love dogs.
We love dogs.
That's the thing. Anyway, the point being is, we were having this conversation, and it was like, all right, this, that, and I'm like, actually, the dog's happiness has to be at the center of the business, doesn't it? And I appreciate this is a really poor example, right?
Well, but it's the soul of the people.
If the dog is happy, the dog owner is happy.
I can give you a slightly different example. I try and explain to my team members. There's a chef many years ago. He explained something to us in a really good way. He said that if you imagine that you're looking at a village and there's a village cow, right? That cow, the milk from that cow, it feeds everybody in the village.
I'm glad you said cow and explained it was a milk.
Yeah. So that it's feeding everyone. If you look after that cow, then it's going to feed everyone. I say if someone starts to abuse and take advantage of that cow and they're not going to. It's not going to generate the same milk that it used to generate, and then the whole village is going to come in. It's a slightly different example.
No, it's a great analogy. Anyway, we're going to have a couple of guests coming on in a minute. Miah and Shamin are joining us. Super excited about some positive activity as well. Jalf, we're launching the professional network, and we'll be supporting them in doing so. So we'll let's get them on, and I'm hoping that Shamin is also going to be joining us. And one of the things that I'll come back to mention is obviously the Inclusion by Default conference and the Curry Club. We've got a Curry Club coming up next week, and then the Inclusion by Default conference the week after. If you haven't signed up, make sure you do. It's super exciting. But let's get Mo and Shamin on the show. Here they are. Hey, Mo.
Morning.
Hey, how you doing?
Not too bad. I had a weird start to the day, but yeah, all good. Thank you.
Yeah, well, that's that. Okay, so you
can't
say that.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning. You're live on air, so please don't swear. But Shamin, the Mo had started telling us a really interesting story, so I'm hoping that he's going to elaborate on that.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. So I've recently got into swimming. So I'm trying to do a bit of a swimming session in the morning and then do sauna steam room after that. So I did my swim and then I popped into the sauna and there was a guy there, very quiet by himself, and the steam room was very busy. So that should have set kind of alarm bells ringing as to why one room's busy and the other one's quiet. So, anyways, I went into the quiet one, thinking not too much about it. And then he's just by himself, very quiet, and then he just starts piping up a little bit, saying, "Oh, you're around with the settings, are you?" I'm like, "No, I'm just here." And I came in on him, start thinking, Jeffy, like, what are going to come? And then he just starts having a bit of a go at me, saying, "Oh, I'll meet you in this park or whatever." I'm like, "Right, mate, like, just calm down." And then yeah, I did my 10 minutes, and then yeah, it was a unusual start to my day. It's normally quite calm and relaxing, so yeah.
You don't expect that in the sauna, but anyway,
But that got a bit hot then, didn't it?
Yeah.
Collar as well as all
Absolutely.
of the collar.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Now,
Not a problem.
let's hopefully you didn't go into a park or whatever it was. But anyway, that's a different conversation. Let's kick off, if we may, with more and why do you do it, please?
So my name's Miah. I'm a chartered accountant. I work within corporate finance, helping business owners to sell their company, to acquire companies, or to raise finance. Work for a company called FRP PLC, based in Newcastle. And as part of us with people, along with Shamin, we're looking to launch a new Asian next month. That's me, really, in a nutshell.
You missed out the why. Sorry, Shamin.
No, shall I follow on and introduce
Well,
myself first?
give us 2 seconds. I just want to ask, why do you do what you do?
So why I do what I do professionally, I like to tell people I'm not saving lives, but I am changing lives and transforming business owners and entrepreneurs' lives with the work that I do in corporate finance. In terms of why we're looking to launch this Asian professional network, there's twofold. Firstly, it's to get the community talking again and getting them working together again. I think we saw that quite a lot kind of 30, 40 years ago with the generation above us. That's kind of been lost a little bit. So we're trying to get that community cohesion back and set by the next generation of upcoming Asian professionals. There's a lot of successful Asian professionals like yourselves, Shamin. We, I guess, have a duty in a sense to give back a little bit, and that's the second reason of wanting to form this new organisation.
Brilliant. Shamin, over to you.
I was listening to such organisation now with the South Asian community. I think we have challenges now, don't we? Sorry, just to introduce myself. So I'm Shamin. I'm one of the partners with Tilly Bain. I'm a family solicitor. I've worked in the legal profession for the last 20 years. So hopefully what I can bring to the table is my skills, my experiences, and the challenges that I've had to face, having maybe not the right type of support in trying to go up to the career ladder. So it's an exciting opportunity for us, I think, to kind of launch this and, take it out to the community.
Brilliant. No, thank you.
Honestly, I wanted to be a fashion designer, but I quite enjoyed studying. So I had a business degree, and then I thought, I don't want to finish on this. I want to continue learning. Walked into the legal department in Northumbria, and that's how my journey started. I think it's empathy, really being empathetic to people, just to help them really deal with their lives, you know, when they're going through a very difficult period in their life. Is really, I kind of class myself, I'm kind of cleaning their mess, helping them sort their lives out, really, more than anything. It's just a service, isn't it? And helping people to, and that's one of the reasons why I do this. And I'm very much a people's person as well.
Good, and we know that, given the fact that we've been connected for quite some time. We know how passionate you are at helping people, and I suppose that then leads and feeds on to the co-creation of this sort of professional network, Asian Pro Connect. I think Mo's raised some important points. Mo's back. Mo disappeared. I hope the guy didn't turn up.
Yeah, I was just biting him. He's sorted out.
Yeah. And I think Mo's raised some, good, valid points about the importance of, networks, communities, the gaps, and things like that. And certainly from an ABC perspective, we're seeing more of a demand for support, right? Well, you're aware of the report because you were involved in it, and fed back on it. The report that we done, commissioned by the Mayor and the Northeast combined, and in the professional network explicitly, because just to be clear, Asian Business Connections is a not-for-profit community interest company, so it takes a far more broader view and an approach to trying to help all communities. The report and the research demonstrated within the professional network, there's a number of barriers, in particular sort of glass, or I would call them concrete ceilings, because you can't even see above you, never mind break through it. And Mo's point around inspiring future generations with professional people doing that. So if you're an accountant, if you're a solicitor, and you want to become an accountant or a solicitor, do you have line of sight of people, successful people like both of you, to be able to do that? So tell us, a little bit more about Asian Pro Connect. I think it's brilliant. ABC is delighted to be supporting it and promoting it. But tell us a little bit more around what does success look like. So if we get you on in 12 months' time and sort of go, what difference did you make? What will that look like? What will that feel like? It wasn't a trick question. Shamin, go.
I mean, it's going to evolve over time, isn't it? So, I mean, what Mo said, just following on from what he said, is providing that support. Your network is your net worth, I would say. So having the skill base there with all the networking that you would have, and mentorship programs, skill setting, we'll have like skill workshops, so it's going to evolve over time. So we're just going to see how that kind of pans out.
Yeah, and I think just in terms of measuring success, there's probably a lot of intangibles as well. So it's not just myself and Shamin behind Asian Pro Connect. There's a whole team behind us. We have identified that there is a gap in the market for something like this, an organization like this. There are a lot of hyper successful individuals within our communities, but for whatever reason, that connection just doesn't seem to exist, or if it does exist, it's not very strong. So one of the core measures of success will just be making sure we're being a bit more collaborative, having more conversations. So we'll be more involved in things like this radio show, for example, or the Curry Club, which is fantastic. Things, and as Shamin says, this is going to evolve. It'll start off with initially through inspirational talks from influential speakers. Ammar being one of them, who's going to be at the launch event Wednesday, 13th of May. And then it'll evolve into kind of mentorship schemes. There'll be private dinners, there'll be opportunities for work experience, et cetera, et cetera. So this could be very, very big and very powerful.
Good. And I hope so, and certainly from an ABC perspective, we're keen as I say, to make sure this is successful and so provide as much wraparound support as we can, and picking up on that point around collaboration and identifying those things that we could do more of. So more that point around mentorship, I think is it's incredibly important, and it's probably one of the biggest areas that everyone's looking for, including me. As in, look, it's very kind of you to suggest that I'm successful. The definition of such is, debatable, but I do enjoy what I do. I do try and, sort of do as much as I can. But when I'm sat next to Jalf, who is understated, underrated, hides in the corner, yet is arguably one of the most successful business entrepreneurs here, it puts me to shame, right? And then you guys doing what you are doing in the passion, in the enthusiasm, as volunteers. I mean, we're all sat here as volunteers, right? I mean, if you think about it, we're putting our hands up. So I think that's really admirable and needs to be acknowledged. And the second thing is, it needs to be a lot more of the unusual suspects, right? So lots of people have seen me, lots of people haven't seen Jalf. Lots of people, naturally have seen Mo and Shamin, but not as much as we'd like them to. And then raise the profile of as many professionals as we can, because that's for me, success is raising the profile of as many professional individuals across the whole of the Northeast, provide them with the opportunity to come together and support and promote each other, and then equally, making sure that there's a bit more of a cohesive and collaborative approach. So it's brilliant to have, both of you on the board of ABC, making sure that ABC is well informed and connected. And then when we're talking to the likes of the mayor or government, I'm meeting with the High Court judges in my new role as the High Sheriff, which these are justices. These are the most senior judges in the UK. Well, actually, what I'd want to do is come and talk to Shamin, and come and talk to Mo, and come and talk to other people that you wouldn't get the chance to talk to, right? And then inviting the Chancellor, whether you have whatever your political views, and we don't do politics here. I don't, Jalf does. But inviting the significant ministers or whoever it is to come along and be involved and understand not just the community groups, and I'm not dismissing community or faith groups, but our professional groups. Because actually, if you look at it statistically, right, the number of South Asians that exist across all of legal, accountancy, various other professional services, that don't have that platform. So I think it's brilliant what you do.
Thank you. So as Mo did say, the launch is on the 13th of May, and hopefully we'll be sending out invites, and Spice FM will be distributing or have a link there that we can have people attending.
We will. And equally, I know that there's something going out ABC. You guys are at the Inclusion by Default conference.
Yeah, I'll be attending that.
There's a number of representatives, so I'll make sure that we have your banner there, and we have the collateral that we're pulling together to support this, and also make sure that the likes of the Commissioner, the Mayor's Office, various other community, faith, business leaders and political leaders are aware of the importance and the need of this. And then I think you've been made aware of the event the day after the launch, which is on the 14th of May, which is really, really important, because that's our opportunity as a group to come together and feed back to the combined authority. So this is the Mayor's Office and all of the funding that comes into the region, and give our heartfelt views on what's not working, what support do we need, how might that support be deployed. That includes funding and wider things. So Jalf, it's really important that we all come together and feed that view back in, given the fact that you were part of the research and the feedback in that research as well.
That sounds good.
Brilliant. Well done. Right, we're gonna parting. What are you gonna do? That's not weird for the rest of today, Mo.
Yeah, I couldn't possibly comment.
All right, brilliant. Shamin, what are you gonna do for the rest?
Well, I do my side business on a Friday, so I'm going to do property, and I'm a gym goer, so I'll be doing some gym sessions.
Good for you. Excellent. Excellent. Don't go to his gym, whichever one. All right.
It's great to speak to you both. Take
Thank
care.
you both. Cheers. Bye.
Bye. Bye. Yeah, there we have the professional Mo and Shamin. Great to have them on. I think I like their enthusiasm, and it's great that ABC is supporting and promoting it, and it's a collaborative effort, right? Because as Mo's highlighted, there probably was a network, and the one thing that ABC has and continues to be is the consistent organisation.
Yeah, of course. ABC has been established for so many years, and I think it's a broad-minded organisation as well, to encourage other individuals within the community to do these other bring their groups together, and then the more there is, I think it just enhances and strengthens the business community.
Of course it does, and as picking up on that point, I think there's some brilliant organisations out there that are doing some great things, primarily community focused or representative, whether that's the Indian Association or the Pakistani Association or the Bangladeshi Association, but ABC having that overarching position, and the credibility and the impact that it has had over the years, with people like Shamin and Mo being part of it as well, right? And certainly that's why we are keen to make sure that Asian Pro Connect is successful and is supported, and brings as much value as it can. And for us, collaboration's far more important than anything else, isn't it?
Yeah, brilliant, 100%.
So, last couple of minutes of the show, football, Jalf.
Well, gosh, football starts back this Saturday. Tomorrow we're at home to Bournemouth. It's unfortunately it's not the season that we wanted to have. But
did we lose to them?
We beat them in the FA Cup when they went to penalties. Remember? Yeah. But we've never beat them in the league. Eddie's never beaten Bournemouth
his old team.
Yeah.
You think that's a fix?
No, I just think that it's just one of those things, isn't it? But hopefully tomorrow
he's gonna break that curse. That's what he is.
We need to win.
Oh gosh, we need to win that last game. But the last few games are just—they've
been horrific.
I
love Eddie.
The start of the game, exciting, super uplifting, getting a goal, and then everyone just folds.
I love Eddie Howe. It's a top manager, but I think he really needs to work his magic and get. I mean, the next 6 games are so important, just to finish in a positive way, because the season's more or less done anyway. Let's finish positively.
Where could we be if we won every game?
We could get into Europe. We can get into Europa League. Champions League's out of the question. Europa League, statistically, it's still possible, but it's not.
Everyone would have to feel. Yeah, we'd have to win.
Yeah, basically.
Let's make that happen.
Yeah.
Use the force.
You never know.
Use the force is what it is. Anyway, we're coming up to the end of our show, and other than the football, I would encourage everyone to reach out. If you haven't signed
on
up,
the hour, every hour, from the heart of the community to the pulse of the world.
Short.
Spice Radio News.
Anyway.
It's been revealed that the Foreign Office overruled a security vetting process to clear Lord Mandelson to become ambassador to the US. Ollie Robbins, the Foreign Office's top civil servant, has been sacked after failing to reveal the results of the vetting. The Prime Minister has faced calls to resign over allegations he misled Parliament when he claimed full due process was followed. Compensation for major state scandals like Windrush, Infected Blood and Horizon IT could reach almost £15 billion, according to the National Audit Office. Johnny Holmes has the details.
According to the public spending watchdog, less than a quarter of the total cost had been paid out by February this year. The